The French Revolution of Class 9 BSC Chapter number 1 History. First topic, French society during the late 18th century. In 1774, Louis XVI became the King of France. He was from the Bourbon family of kings, and he ascended the throne of France at the age of 20 years. And also he married to the Austrian princess Marie Antoinette. So Marie Antoinette wished her as a queen because she suggested very much undesirable comments she passed and undesirable things she advised which was out of their budget. So due to her ideas of extra expenses, the France society gone, or the France king have suffered a lot of loan over his head. Due to the long years of war had drained the financial resources of France. So as the long years of war the France was suffering, and in that time, after the long years of wars, the King Louis XVI became the king of the France, and he was from the Bourbon family. So we need to know that Louis XVI became the king when after and he inherited a treasury which was empty because long years of war had drained the financial resources of France. Under Louis XVI, France had because long years of war had drained the financial resources of France. Under Louis XVI, France had the 13 American colonies to gain their independence from the common enemy Britain. So as Britain was the common enemy of the 13 American colonies along with France, so France helped as they wanted to show that they are very rich and they can help other colonies also. So by helping that colonies, France have showed that how much rich they are and how much expenses they can do. So also as they was having a same or the common enemy Britain, so he helped, or the Louis XVI the king helped 13 colonies, American colonies, to gain their independence from the common enemy which was Britain. Moreover, the war added more than $1 billion livres to a debt that had already risen to more than 2 billion livres. So as the war, as he helped, so what is livres? So we need to know that what is livres. Livres was the currency of money in France during that period of time. So livres is the currency of money during that period of France when there was a war, or means that during that session. So and as Louis XVI had 13 other colonies, so it had risen, or it has risen to a debt or to a loan of more than 1 million livres, which was a very big amount during that time, and till now it is a very big amount, rising to more than, and after that the war added more than billion livres, a debt that had already risen to more than 2 billion livres, and ultimately the debt have risen to 2 billion livres as lenders who gave the state credit now began to charge 10% interest on loans. The 1 billion livres has increased to 2 billion livres because the lenders who have given the state credit, or the lenders who have lended the money, or the lenders who have given a loan, because they have started to charge 10% of interest on loans they have given to the France society or the France king. So the French government was obliged to spend an increasing percentage of its budget on interest payments alone. So the French society or the French government started to pay only the interest in such a manner that they are not able to pay the main money or the principal they have took, and all of how much their income was, all were spent or all were given to the lenders, because they have charged 10% of the principal money. So most of their money that was the income of the French government was going only in the interest and not in the principal at all, and the daily interest, the interest which was given by the king was increasing. As 10% was charged, so every lender was charging 10%. So as to meet its regular expenses such as the cost of maintaining an army, the court, running government offices or universities, the state was forced to increase taxes. So due to they had a very big, so as the king and queen stayed at a very big extravagant palace as they were living, and they were having a very immense court, immense palace as they are having. They had many workers to whom they need to pay. The king have to pay them. So for their overloaded expenses, they are suffering more and more amount of loans over their head, and only the full money, the income was spent on the income of the French government was spent on the interest that was charged by the lenders or the people who have lended the money or the people who have given the loan to the government, French government. So due to this reason, the French government has decided to increase the taxes. So as to know what was the increase in tax, we need to know that the French society was divided into 3 estates or state. First was clergy, second was nobility, and third was the big businessmen, merchants, court officials, lawyers, peasants, artisans, small peasants, landless laborers, and servants. So in these 3 parts, the French society was divided during that time, and the amount of tax which was the extra tax due to the loan they are facing, the government is facing, the full tax was taken only by the clergy, because the only charged by the third estate, as there were many people and as no taxes were taken by the clergy and the nobility. The clergy refers to those who have their own churches or who work as priests during that time, and the nobility was the ministers, some kind of government officials also. So that kind of people were in the nobility. And in the third estate there were big businessmen, some were merchants, some were court officials. Even the court officials have to pay, as they are government officials, but till then they have to pay some taxes. And the peasants, artisans who were poor, they have to pay also. And so we can know that in third estate there are few people who were rich and other than of those were poor. But till then these measures would not have sufficient. Only the third estate were paying taxes. The Society of Estates was part of the feudal system that dated back to the Middle Ages. The old term regime is usually used to describe the society and institution of France before 1789. So there was a old regime, a old ritual kind of in the French society, because to increase any tax, the old regime, that monarch did not have the power to impose taxes according to his will alone. This means that there was an old regime, there was an old ritual that the king alone cannot charge any taxes without taking the advice or the permission of the Estate General. They need a vote of Estate General. The Estate General consists of the members of the 3 states. They were the first clergy, nobility, and the third state. So during that time, the king called a Estate General, from which 300 people were from the clergy and 300 people were from the nobility and 600 people were alone from the third estate. Total 1200 people were included in the Estate General, and in the third estate the rich people, the educated people were allowed to come, and even they were not allowed to sit, and they were standing at the back of the seats of the first estate and the third estate. They were not being treated well, even they are rich, even they are educated. So this kind of system was really very bad. On 5th May 1789, Louis XVI called together an assembly of the Estates General to pass proposals for new taxes. So as I have said you that people or the representatives of the three estates were being called. From the first estate 300, from the second estate 300, from the third estate 600, and the third estate people are not allowed to sit. A resplendent hall in Versailles was prepared to host the delegates. The first and the second estates sent 300 representatives each, who were started in rows facing each other on two sides, while the 600 members of the third estate each other on two sides. The third estate was represented by its more prosperous and educated members. Peasants, artisans, and women were denied to entry to the assembly. However, their grievances and demands were listened in some 4,000 letters which the representatives had brought with them. So as the representatives had brought with them, the woman and the child and the peasants who were poor, they were not allowed to get into the assembly as they were poor, and women and child were not allowed. So there were around 40,000 letters that the 600 people from the third estate have brought with them to show or to get the letters known to the king. So second part of this video will be brought soon to you. Thank you. Keep watching my channel, and the second